What do you think of sugar and the sort of either overexposure or villainization of processed sugar? Like, are we eating too much processed sugar? Because, you know what, I was hanging out with this guy, very, I would say, famous and smart individual who was on the podcast. And he said, look, I'm reverse aging. And this is sort of a, elite trend. Reverse aging. And the one thing I've done is I've cut out all processed sugar and I feel like $1 million. You remember, Anj? Right? And part of the ketosis exposure that I had in my early 20s was gluten, sugar, dairies all cut out. You cut out carbohydrates anyway. Is sugar really that bad? Is sugar okay? Like, how do I look at sugar?
Ancient evolution put sugar on fruits and trees and sugarcane, which again farmers grew, and now we have processed sugar.
Right.
I don't believe sugar or any food for that matter is actually the culprit. I'm a judge sitting in a courtroom. Defense and prosecutor sit in front of me. Sugar is now on the podium as per your question. Saab, ye to guilty hai. The defender has to come in and say, sir, please tell us that sugar is not the bad molecule. In any food you take, you have to see the dose-dependent serving. The problem with sugar is it activates the primordial pleasure center in the brain.
And max, like really activates it.
What was sugar in ancient time before we discovered sugar? It was fruit.
Yeah, fructose.
Why did you eat fruit? You ate fruit on a tree that was ripening for only 2 weeks. So, bharpur khane ka, you stored up for the winter, you got all your vitamins and minerals and done.
Right.
Today, I get mango year round.
Right.
I can eat mango 365 days. If you and I lived 1000 years ago, we got mango only for 3 months.
Right.
We enjoyed the season, that's it. So that clock that existed, where there was dose-dependent servings of seasonality, and then obviously, you had to walk kilometers to find the mango orchard and eat it. To today, ready-made punching availability, the culprit is not sugar. The culprit is you taking and putting that in your body.
All the time, 24 hours, 365
and
days.
And if I go back to my number one point, the human race is eating too much.
Yeah.
Now you might say, okay, I don't eat anything, I fast, but then my first meal I break is pure processed sugar. Evolutionary wise, our genes still haven't changed. It takes 2,000 to 5,000 years for the genes to change. So I say to people is when you do sugar, make sure that you know that it's not in excess and there's no one standard serving. You're a big guy. You've got a lot of muscles. Your dose of sugar and my dose of sugar is completely different. So it's bio-individual. Second is what is your gene towards diabetes? That is how powerful is your insulin? At which age? Do you know there's an anti-diabetic gene also where people can eat copious amount of sugars? My father-in-law is an orthopedic surgeon. He eats so much sugar and he has no diabetes. There does exist that gene. And some people get it at the age of 25. So my point over here is sugar, when taken out from people's diet, they have massive improvements. If they see that, it means they were taking too much.
Okay.
I have sugar in moderation. And when I take out sugar, I don't feel any difference. But when I take more sugar, as I have creeped up towards my 50s, I'm going to be 50 in a year's time.
No way.
So my uric acid has gone up. My latest annual health checkup was showing uric acid. And then I was like, damn, it's the sugar. Right? Because I'm trying to eat more carbohydrates and protein to bulk up, to put on more muscle, because muscle is the only age reversible organ.
Yep.
But on the other side, I'm like, okay, chalta hai. I can have my rice, I can have a croissant every now, gluten-free croissant. But the moment I go 3 or 4 days without sugar, my joints stop paining.
That's so interesting. Your joints, like it's such a physical, gross feeling. Joints stop paining.
So I think we can assassinate sugar, but it's everything in terms of the pleasure sensation of how much you take. Right? So what is the solution to the problem? One is do a blood test and check your HbA1c.
Yes.
Look at your fasting glucose levels. please look at your HOMA score and your insulin resistance.
Right.
And you can do this on your own. We can give the links later. People can test it at their own labs. And if your scores are haywire, then go meet a good health coach, go and meet your endocrinologist, go meet your diabetologist. And people say, I don't have diabetes, but we're going to get there.
Yeah.
We're going to get there.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge, I think about 100 million Indians or so, I'm not too sure, but we're the diabetic capital of the world. So the key reason my celebrity people are giving up sugar is, when you do this HbA1c, is called glycation of hemoglobin. It means hemoglobin gets attacked by sugar. And so glycation actually means aging. What people don't realize is sugar also attacks your DNA. So how do we age is when your DNA unravels. So DNA is protected by a process known as methylation.
Right.
So you need foods that will be methyl donors. And chiefly you have amino acids like glycine, cysteine, and certain other amino acids which will give that. And your B complex, which is chiefly vitamin B9. And there's a gene known as the MTHFR gene, which a lot of us are on the back foot with that gene. So now imagine MTHFR gene as this, when you buy a new car, you put that special film protector on it. People who are born without the MTHFR gene and have a lot of sugar, it's like your car has no paint on it also. So matlab instant rusting happens. Rusting on your DNA means aging. So if the younger generation could get this understanding that one, your body is the most expensive real estate. So I think of my body as a Rolls Royce. What's your favorite vehicle?
Walking? No. I don't have one.
You don't have one?
I'm very
assume you buy
okay,
a
so
car.
like an SUV. Let's just call it a Mercedes SUV. Whatever.
I'm thinking you'll buy a Maybach SUV,
Sure,
right?
Sure.
Now, you can't change this SUV for the rest of your life.
Right.
We
change everything.
You change everything, right? But you can't change your human body. So now would you put sugar into this SUV that you can never change, knowing that the SUV is rusting your SUV from inside out, and now 10 साल के अंदर आप खटारा दिखेगा.
बिल्कुल.
So from a vanity point of view, give up sugar. From a pain point of view, reduce your sugar because you could be in the diabetic gene pool.
Right.
ब्रदर, ये क्वेश्चंस और ये पॉडकास्ट सुन के आपके भी दिमाग के चक्षु खुले ना. सो subscribe to this so that you can watch our podcast in small bits and clips while you are busy and wasting your life away.